Campus Comics Cast welcomes you to a new year and makes the resolution to keep reading and talking about comics for 2024. Of course, we were probably going to do that anyway. This is Scott Reed, and I'm joined on this episode by
Mike Atchison
and Chad Schubert.
And this, of course, is the first episode of 2024. I almost said 2025. So usually I say 2023, but it is actually 2024, and it's a next phase pre-orders episode. So before we jump into the catalog / website / digital stuff, we got anything we want to talk about first?
Well, I thought we better bring up some feedback that we got at the beginning here. We got Facebook comments from Eric at the Long Box Review on the last, basically a comment from each of our last two episodes, going in reverse chronological order. The most recent, Eric commented on it was basically our coverage of the first 5 for Fantastic Four, and then we, in our what we've been reading, we brought up I think I brought up the Outsiders, the new Outsiders series, having sort of a planetary flavor to it. And Eric basically said that he highly recommends Planetary and its spiritual cousin, also written by Ellis, which is Injection. And then what did you say, Scott?
I said I loved Injection. Excellent recommendation. So good taste. Yeah, good taste.
Thanks for that, Eric. Good to know we are like-minded on these things. And then he also commented on the last previews / next phase / DC Connect / all of our distributors. He commented about, he said he was listening to this episode, and as he was preparing his December order and nodding along because his orders have become smaller and smaller over the last year. I'm only getting 2 ongoing series now. Anyway, you mentioned many of the newer comics that also caught my eye. Great minds. So once again, and Scott replied,
"Oh, I'm sorry. I switched off the page. I was pulling up his website. So yeah, you read it for me because I don't remember."
Okay. Scott replied that it's definitely getting tougher to find the quality in the catalogs, especially with so many creators moving to Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Substack. And that sort of prompted a little thought process, by the way, Eric, that the three of us had, was maybe we should, if we do see something come into our email feeds from any of those more, boutique, I guess you could call them, distributors or, fundraiser type or whatever, we should maybe bring it up. I have, once in a while you'll see something from one of them in one of the catalogs too, but like Distillery, I think, has a couple of ads. But yeah, I think we will in the future. We'll try to pay attention to anything that catches our eye from something like that.
Well, for the record, I've never been opposed to whenever I see something on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or Substack. We've talked about Substack before. We talked about Kickstarter before. I never felt like it needed a previews, next phase episode to talk about it. If it was there, I would go ahead and mention it. And in fact, you really can't wait for a pre-orders, because often if it is a Kickstarter, then it's over by the time we get around to recording and publishing a pre-orders episode. So I would just talk about it as soon as it's available. So
yeah, okay, well, that's a good point. I think it was more of me thinking, well, I would never even pay attention to that stuff. I've participated in Kickstarter and some of those, but not. Really,
and the main company that I'm seeing doing Kickstarters on a regular basis is Bad Idea. Which, of course, Matt Kent is part of Bad Idea, and they've had a few books. I've actually kickstarted several of those, and every single time I regret it. But we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, thanks, Eric, for the comments, and you can find Eric's website, Long Box Review. Looks like his latest episode was dropped 6 days ago, January 3rd, 2024. It's My Comics History from October 1978. And he's got one book that I remember reading and one book that I am sure, Mike, you would remember reading. So he's got Amazing Spider-Man. I gotta scroll. I can't remember what episode. Oh, it's 188 and Green Lantern / Green Arrow 112.
Yes.
So, yes. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've really enjoyed his My Comic History episodes are pretty cool.
So again, Long Box Review to follow Eric, and of course he has his podcast feed as well, and you can get it there at longboxreview.com. All right, Next Phase catalog.
Let's do it.
All right, page 5 from Ahoy. They lied. They lied to us. They lied to us. Project Cryptid was supposed to be a 6-issue series, and now it has become Ahoy's first ongoing title. Once again, I'm not sure what cryptids are involved in this particular issue. It's just listed as John Crow and Monster in the Window, but we now have an issue 7 of Project Cryptid, and we'll see how much longer it runs. And of course, not necessarily of course, but the first trade is also available from Ahoy.
I was interested that Ahoy has never had an ongoing title. It's surprising, but I mean, looking back at the titles that I'm familiar with out of them, they're a lot of one shots or miniseries. So that makes all the sense in the world.
To me, the biggest thing they've always had is what I'm sure Mike will bring up next is their Wrong Earth series with Jamal Igle. So I've read some and missed some of those. But yeah, I was kind of surprised too that they didn't have any other ongoings. But now that I think about it, it's like, there's only like 1 or 2 titles in Ahoy each month generally. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the closest thing they have to an ongoing is the Wrong Earth, property. It has a lot of spin-offs, and it seems like it's, every month or every other month at least, there's going to be something with them. And so far, I haven't read everything yet. I do have a lot of catching up to do with Wrong Earth, but it's one of them I want to sit down and just read everything they have in sequential order. And I know I got some redundancies because I remember missing a couple of issues of the first series and very upset. I went and bought the doggone trade, and that'll teach them. Yeah. So,
well, I think there was one issue. I can never remember if it was issue 2 or issue 4, that first Wrong Earth series, that they apparently either way underprinted or something happened, and a lot of people, didn't get that issue. And of course, all of a sudden, a bunch of copies magically showed up later on. So
yeah,
maybe we can just blame Diamond. I don't know. I'm okay with that. So
it's on page 6 of the Next Phase catalog, the Wrong Earth Dead Ringers, and this is by Tom Peyer. I think he's actually he and Jamal Igle are who's also doing the art, by the way, along with Juan Castro. But Peyer and Igle are kind of like they're creators of this, aren't they?
I believe so. Yes, I think they're kind of like they have the co-creator status on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you were right. You know my life, Scott.
I'll just read off all your comments, Mike. You can just
that would be
mute your mind.
Kick back, put my feet up.
That's right.
And I actually don't have anything else until we get into the DC portion of Next Phase. So that's page 40 for me.
I've got 17 in CEX.
I've got 9. I'm not sure why I chose this to flag. I'm not saying this is a genre that I just automatically jump to, the hard-boiled neo-western thriller, but Little Black Book by AWA, written by Jeff McComsey. I don't think I know him. Illustrated by Felipe Cunha. I think the title caught me. It's interesting. There's always secrets in a Little Black Book, and I thought the intrigue maybe would make it worth checking out. So it's on page 9. AWA has a pretty good history of pulling in some pretty good creators, artists, writers, artisans, and such. And yeah.
Well, I too was initially interested when I saw, a number 1 AWA Little Black Book. Kind of thought the cover was kind of cool. And then whenever I looked at the variant covers and look at who apparently the main characters are, I'm just not into redneck. So it feels a little too redneck for me. You got the barefoot and wife pregnant wife, and the guy with the borderline mullet, and I just
he just hasn't had a haircut in a while.
Yeah, okay, all right, sitting on their mismatched furniture, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, this is too redneck for me. So
I can kind of relate to that. I just got through reading Old Man Logan and the redneck Hulk grandchildren.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's too much. I can't take it. But they got what they deserved.
Anything for Shad's page 17?
No.
All right.
All right. In CEX, we have what they're now calling SID for short, the 7 Years in Darkness Year 2, number 1. I read the first year of this and thought it was a really neat kind of weird academy. The artwork style is great. I really want to read more of this Joseph Szolmaki, or however you say his last name. He's got a couple other books that he's done, pulling double duty. So yeah, it seems as though they're actually going to go through all 7 years of this kind of weird, kind of almost seems like the dark, hardcore version of like Harry Potter. It's not necessarily wizards, but 7 years, bunch of kids. Only like 7 kids survive out of like 50. They're all supposed to like die off in battles and everything over 7 years. So, like I said, it's a pretty neat story. So I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your take on that first issue because I mean, Magic titles, I can sort of, it's hit and miss for me, but I do kind of like, now that you sort of put it like that it's like a dark Harry Potter. It really is. I mean, it's magic, it's apprentices, and yeah, so you have to keep us posted.
Absolutely. And I'm not until DC also.
Mike, you got anything for 40?
Yeah, I've got one on page 26. If my
Marguerite versus the Occupation.
That's correct. I'm sorry, my hotel Wi-Fi is not the greatest, but this is also under CEX, written by John Luzar, illustrated by Casey Quevedo, and it's historical fiction. It's based in World War II, and basically 4 years after the Nazis invaded France, 17-year-old Marguerite returns to her childhood home only to find a German machine gun crew occupying the bombed-out remains of her bedroom, which just, destroys the image of her home, and she's about to take her home back. So the art, I won't say overwhelms me. It seems a little bit cartoony, but I like that premise so much. I'm thinking Marie Mademoiselle's little niece or something that, will kick some Nazi butt. Can't go wrong there. And that's it for me until DC.
Until DC. All right. Well, I'm going to go by, you want to go by DC page numbers or next phase page numbers? Or say them both. Do you care?
Yeah. I got them both too.
You got them both? Okay. All right. So let's just start at page 40/1. All right, Batman 145. Next story arc from Chip Zdarsky, and guess who's back? You're not going to guess?
Oh yeah, it's Zur-En-Arrh, isn't it?
Zur-En-Arrh. So I thought we were done with Zur-En-Arrh. I didn't read the conclusion of that storyline. I've been reading Detective instead. And, we got that 3-issue Joker year. Was it year 0 or year 1 that we're getting?
Year 0, yeah.
0. All right. So now we're back to our regularly scheduled program, and we're back to Zur-En-Arrh. So I don't know what to think about this. I was so excited after that first Chip Zdarsky issue, and it's just not grabbed me after 125. So
I thought you were excited that Jimenez was back on the book, that they were back together, and I was like, oh, because I do like his artwork on the Batman book when he was doing it, but that was all I paid attention to. I actually didn't read the solicit to see that that someone else was also back. I just was like, oh, that artwork's back, and I dig that.
And Scott, that's the reason I didn't put it on my list. I mean, I was ready to get away from any event type storyline, and then when I seen Zur, I guess we just call him Zur for short, not Zur-En-Arrh. But I think Zdarsky has an unhealthy relationship with this character. He needs to let go.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I'm not. That turns me off a bit, and I haven't been picking up Batman by Zdarsky since that first 5 or 6 issues he wrote.
I'm still getting Batman, but like I said, it's not made it to the top of my read pile in a while. So, and in fact, for the most part on Batman, even though I'm buying it physical, I'm waiting to read it digital anyway. So, and I'll probably sit down and blow through a bunch of issues next time I get caught up with Detective and don't have something indie or Marvel to read. So I'm sure I'll read it at some point, but I hate to say that, but I'm almost ready for this Zdarsky Batman run to be over because it's just not grabbing me like the Daredevil stuff did. So
yeah.
My next thing's on 53/14, so I'm sure you guys have a couple things before there.
I've got the very next page is the Suicide Squad Dream Team #1. It's not something I'm going to pick up, but I'm just looking at the composition of this team and the idea that Amanda Waller, even with her manipulative skills, could rein in a creature like Bizarro.
Yeah.
And so maybe she has something that really she can keep him under control, because I can't imagine a more volatile character than him. But the thing I did want to promote was on 43/4, and that's not even promote. I'm sorry. This is more of a question. Batman/Dylan Dog #1. Who the heck is Dylan Dog? Does anyone know?
I had the exact same question for you guys. I looked it up, but I didn't know before that.
I have no idea.
Well, so I haven't looked it up, so you enlighten us there, Seth.
It is some like indie, I think, Italian detective book. It's something European for sure. And I know that sounds super ignorant, but but it's a character that it has its own book series and whatnot. This Dylan Dog, but I don't see why the crossover unless it's just it's not necessarily for us to know. We get to find out. We get introduced to Dylan Dog here, and they're bringing this European character into the universe, perhaps. Yeah, crossover like you would get a Spawn Batman crossover, maybe.
Yeah. It's 88 pages for $4.99. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's one of 3. So. I
guess apparently Dark Horse published it at some point, and the film Cemetery Man was loosely based on the comics.
Oh.
So okay. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not, but yeah. So it's something that like used to show up on like IFC, the Independent Film Channel, every once in a while. So I have seen it, though it's been a long time since I've seen it.
The cover implies that Dylan Dog plays the clarinet, which does not inspire coolness. And
he's a bad mamma jamma with that.
Yeah. What a jazz player he is. Yeah. And I'm up to, it's like page 6.
Okay.
I've got on 6, yeah, same.
You got same? Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention this is the Batman Dark Age #1, which is the follow-up from the Superman Space Age team, which was Mark Russell and Mike Allred. And they are telling a story of Batman's origin intertwined with actual American history, which I thought was kind of a neat way to do that. And I never got around to reading Space Age, but I really wanted to because I love the Allred artwork. So I'm in the same boat with this. I was like, I got to read this one too.
Yeah, it was very good.
Page 47/8, Batman and Robin #7. Not anything special about this issue, but I did read the first couple of issues of this series, and it's very different. It's like Batman and Robin are like jokey back and forth between each other, and it just doesn't feel right. It was just bizarre having that, that interchange between these two characters, and I'm pretty sure, now that it's been a couple of months since I've read any of it, I thought it was Damian, and that again is just not the interchange that you expect between Bruce and Damian. So I need to double check and make sure it actually is Damian.
Yes, that's Damian's crush in the little thing.
Yeah, but I mean, with it being 6 issues ago, I guess it's possible they could be rotating Robins or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Just in case, but I do think it was Damian. So it was just a little odd. So
yeah. I don't think I remember Flatline being, her debut, but I don't remember much about her. I don't think I read anything with her.
Unless you read that first issue of the previous Robin series, that's kind of where she made her debut. But beyond that, she hasn't really had much of an impact. At least she hasn't been forced down our throat the way like Punchline has been, though. So
yeah, you will like this character.
Yes, whether you like this character or not, you will like this character. I'm still at 5314, so
that's where I am. But you go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I assume this is going to be some type of retcon because we have Batman Superman World's Finest 25, written by Mark Waid. And this is apparently the first meeting between Joker and Lex Luthor. Of course, these two have teamed up in comics before. So I'm assuming there's going to be some historical redo of the first time that they met, in the past. But I mean, do you have any thoughts on what they may be doing with the storyline?
Well, I think that Mark Waid, the books he's putting out is intentionally outside regular DC continuity. I think he's writing things. In fact, I think, if you look at some of the earlier World's Finest, I mean, it was kind of set with a Dick Grayson Robin.
Oh, okay.
This is like more a retelling of some Silver and Bronze Age stories, not really meant to be in current continuity. That's the way I understand it.
I wish these things that were supposed to be outside of continuity were more clearly marked as being outside of continuity. But I guess then, they would say, people like us would say, oh, it's not in continuity, I'm not going to mess with it.
Could be, yeah.
Just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
I'd rather read stuff out of continuity sometimes.
Well, and sometimes, yeah.
I don't have to know anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, with Waid doing it, I remember him answering. I asked a question one time at a panel that at C2E2 that he was hosting, or at least answering questions, and I kind of asked him what was more important, continuity or good stories, and he kind of had a little bit of both answer. Have some connectivity, and I've always kind of held on to that because I do like, where you can say, oh, Hawkman and Hawkwoman, they just got back from Thanagar, and you see that in, say, in Action Comics, and that's mentioned in another book. So I like that. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be beholden to it, but I wish I would have recorded his answer because it was really good. So that's the way I see this is, if it's not outside of continuity, maybe it's just a retelling of things that were in the past.
My next thing's on 66/27.
I also just want to mention on that World's Finest issue, though, that we get that really rad William Shatner variant cover.
Oh, right.
His nose looks wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a bulbous nose there.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, a little Kris Kringle thing going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, he looks a little Santa Clausy. I like it.
There you go.
I'm actually on the one right before that, Scott, on 65/26.
Okay, Chad, you got anything before that?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
And I just wanted to mention, I'm already buying Shazam because Mark Waid's writing it, and that Lupacino, I don't know if he's been, or she or he, Emanuela Lupacino's been doing the art, but you're guaranteed to get me to buy it if you put Creeper on the cover. I've always liked that character.
I thought you were going to talk about Blue Beetle 7 because you got a blue and gold team up going on.
Oh, everything was great about that cover image there, except that it says not final trade dress covers. But I loved what they have. I love what they have there. And I'm not picking up Blue Beetle right now, but I may pick up this one just to see how many of the JLI, which it looks like most of them, anybody that's ever been a member of the JLI is on that cover. Might be interesting to see.
So the most absurd book in the catalogs this month, the April special, Aperil. I guess this, of course, I don't know why they're calling it April whenever it's coming out in March, but that's neither here nor there. But of course, as the name suggests, it's about apes, and to push this over the top, there is a variant banana scented cover.
Absolutely.
That's right. So just when you think there weren't any gimmicks left, ape cover with a banana scent. There you go.
Eat your heart out, scratch and sniff.
That's right.
Okay, I got a couple things. First of all, I confess that I did buy the variant cover of, what was it, Batman versus Santa.
Oh,
Came out a month. Yeah, okay. It had a scratch and sniff cover that was supposed to be this all beat up, teeth missing Santa, like his breath or something. Well, it smells like peppermint or like a candy cane is what it smells like. Yeah. So I like the cover though. Just the close up of a beat up roughneck Santa. And the other thing I want to say is that I don't care how many books you sell with apes on the cover, I'm not buying this. I would maybe buy the Crisis on Infinite Earths #7 homage cover, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like you got Detective Chimp, Monkey Prince, Gleek. Okay, I'm not sure who is in the super suit.
Super.
Yeah, in the front center of the cover.
Oh, that's the Super Chimp.
Super Chimp, okay.
Yep.
And then you have another ape detective behind the Super Chimp.
That's Simeon Sam.
Okay, all right, thank you.
From Angel and the Ape.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then of course all the ape bad guys.
And then you got, I think, Titano with the green glow on his face. Okay. But he's a bad guy, so I'm not sure.
Well, it's the bad guys surrounding the good guys, so you know.
Oh, I see. And then you got Ultra Humanite, the white ape.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you got
one of them has to be Grodd.
What? Right? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It talks about Grodd being incarcerated, but.
Oh, okay. So, I don't know.
There's so many monkeys.
I don't know. I do like trying to identify who's who. I just know. Oh, and of course it's Monsieur Mallah with the bray. That's
okay.
In the
one in the
foreground
front
there. Yeah.
Okay, so who's the one with the yellow flower around looking? That's the only one you haven't named. So.
Yeah, I don't know. And of course, Monkey Prince. You said him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Now I got to buy it and find out. Dang it.
My plan worked. Force you to buy an ape book. I'm still not buying it. My next thing's on 69. I assume somebody's going to talk about one of these before 69, but.
My next one's on 76/37.
Wow. Shad?
Nope.
No, really? Wow. Okay, this is really more of a question than a comment. So we got Suicide Squad, Kill Arkham Asylum 2 and 3, but each of these issues comes with a digital token. One is the Great White Shark weapon doll, and the other is the Scarface weapon doll digital token. And I don't know. I'm assuming that this is for
a video game.
Is it for a video game? So is DC Universe Infinite a video game?
No, it's Kill the Justice League is the name of the.
Is the name of the game? Oh, okay.
Suicide
I see
Squad
it.
Kill the
Justice League. Okay. So, all right, that makes sense. So I guess that's just an unlock inside of the game. I was thinking it was like an NFT type of a thing that they were including with the books. But yeah, that makes more sense. So, and right there it says right at the top, redeemable code for a bonus weapon doll. Okay, maybe I should read the page. Is what you're trying to say? I hear what you're saying.
I think this makes it more interesting that we just stumble around with it for a while.
That's right. Yeah, we get there.
Hey, it gets us reading, more of the catalog that way.
Yeah,
that's right.
We go through it multiple times. So, I think I'm done with the DC section myself.
Same.
Anything?
I got one more.
All right.
And that's on page 76/37, and it's a reprinting in its original oversized format, basically a treasury edition of limited collector's edition number 51, which is the iconic cover of Batman in anguish over the body of Robin. It's a Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, depending on how you like to pronounce it. We got Talia on the cover. It's one of those. It's just one of those iconic covers. I can't remember if this is a reprinting of an earlier comic that had the cover, or if it was unique to this tabloid edition. But I've got it, the original. It's probably not in the best shape, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. If it was a hardback, I would get it, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It doesn't say it is, and it's only $15 for 80 pages. And so I think it's probably just just like the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're probably right. So
yeah, that's it for me.
All right. So now the next thing after DC, I didn't put page numbers down, but next thing after DC is we have what? Distillery, right? No, Drawn and Quarterly. I didn't have anything drawn and quarterly. You may have anything drawn and quarterly.
No.
There's a book on page 91 called Gleam by Freddie Carrasco. And there was just something about the artwork and the preview pages that pulled me in and made me want to read it. So here I am talking about it. It's got 3 interconnected characters in this kind of cyberpunk world. It's black and white even, and I'm not into that. But there's something, like I said, there's just something about the artwork that reminds me of like, I don't know, like a '90s cartoon short that is smashed in between two 30-minute TV shows. Just something you'd see in a commercial. So. And the little preview you get, this kid is like in church and he finds some drugs that he's getting ready to trip on. So, yeah, something about it draws me to it. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm looking at some of the panels and I am getting a kick out of some of it, but
yeah.
All right. I'm still scrolling because I still haven't found Distillery yet.
119 is my next one.
Okay. Oh, well, that's before Distillery, apparently.
It's still before. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still drawn on quarterly. It's Winnie the Pooh. But it's Winnie the Pooh in graphic novel for the first time, and I love me some Winnie the Pooh. I of course found out about Winnie the Pooh when it was a Disney property, but I always enjoyed the original novels as well. And so, yeah, this is an actual like drawn out graphic novel. There are always illustrations in the books, but nothing fully flushed out. So I thought that was really neat, especially if you've got a big Winnie the Pooh fan. I probably won't order this, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, they have some of the best characters in any of those, childhood animation stories, whether it's animation or comics or whatever. It was always animation, I think so. But
yeah.
You can see Piglet in these panels. So just a great character. I think really what made is that the voice, the man that did the voice of Winnie the Pooh had that really, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to try to imitate it, but
I was going to do it as well, but we won't. We're recording, so I might nail it, but I might mess it up horribly. So.
But okay, so here's your trivia, Winnie the Pooh trivia. What's the name of the little boy that owned Winnie the Pooh?
Christopher Robin.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, I made a movie. I feel like this is a trick.
Made a movie. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a softball.
Yeah.
There's your Distillery.
Right, now we're ready for Distillery.
Now, okay, all right. So Distillery. This is supposed to they're the publisher of the year if you believe things that you read on X and Instagram,
really?
And whatever. Yeah. So. They got 3 books. Of course, only one of them comes out this month. So I guess they'll have a book, and then next month a book, and then next month a book. You have White Boat, Spectrograph, and The Blood Brothers' Mother. And I'm looking at all 3 of these, and I am just not excited or interested in any of them. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on these Distillery books.
I am happy that I feel like they heard our complaints last month. We said that they haven't put out anything new, and they were just had these like ongoing. And so like we'll show you what the next 3 months look like. And so,
but it's still 1 book a month when you actually get down to it. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They the White Boat and Spectrograph kind of feel like we're doing the same thing, but Scott Snyder's writing one and Tynion's writing the other one. So that was kind of like, all right, maybe just one of those, but I don't know which one is better. And neither one's great. And then the Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Ruscio kind of re-team up was cool, but I'm not going crazy over it.
All right, so Shad, if you had to buy one of these 3, which one, if you had, Mike, I'm throwing the same question to you here in just a second. If you had to buy one, Shad, which one would you buy? I know which one I think you would buy, but go ahead.
It's going to be White Boat because there's these secret cults going on and with Lovecraftian madness.
Okay, so I thought you would have picked Spectrograph.
So, okay, with the haunted house and everything.
Well, for the name.
It's a neat name.
You're right. Well, I just assumed there would be something like, a phonograph, so that's why I thought you would have picked it.
Okay, I'm following you.
That's why I thought you would have picked it. So, so Mike, what about you? Which one would you pick? White Boat, Spectrograph, or Blood Brothers' Mother?
The Blood Brothers' Mother for me, because it's been a while since I've read any Brian Azzarello, and he doesn't really disappoint, really. He's got I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's he doesn't hold back, and whenever he doesn't like something, and hearing him talk about DC, I was cracking up. But yeah, I think, and Eduardo Risso is between the two of them. I think that'd be the one I would read.
And do you know? Here's your trivia question, Mike. Who is Brian Azzarello married to?
Oh, also a comics creator. I guess.
Also a comics creator. Okay, I'll give you another hint. Sandman.
Karen Berger.
Covers.
Oh, covers.
Covers.
Oh.
And of course,
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, now I am also drawing a rank. Jill Thompson. Jill Thompson.
Oh, Jill Thompson. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, she has that Wicked Witch book or something like that.
I love Jill Thompson. Yeah.
And yeah, I do too.
So I'm 99% sure that they're married. So
I met her too at a different C2E2.
Oh, okay.
I think she signed a Wonder Woman story that she did for me.
Jill Thompson. Did I say Jill Thompson?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. You agreed.
Right. Okay,
so,
yeah. Thank you. All right. Mm-hmm. Jill Thompson. Yes, that is apparently correct according to the internet. The internet never lies.
And Somna has been hitting my Facebook feed like crazy. I don't know if they got a huge push for this, but
well, I think it's related to that whole distillery being publisher of the year. So between that and what's the
blasphemous?
Yeah, blasphemous. Yeah, I'm seeing that on Instagram, all over the place, Facebook, just constant. So I guess they had to be paying for a lot of advertising. So
could be.
Yeah. And they are also posting. I followed them. When they first made this push, and I never unfollowed them. So, and I think they do about a post an hour. So, and when you only follow like 3 people, when they do a post an hour, that eats that much.
It really gets.
So, yeah. So it kind of takes it over. So. All right, my next thing is on 144, and I assume that I'm not the one who's going to want to talk about that. So
sure, we're all on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I will pass it over to you, Shad. I will give you the honor.
All right. Well, unexpectedly, we got Feral #1, which is the from the creators of Stray Dogs. So we have Tony Fleeks and we have Trish Frostner back at it again, along with Tone Rodriguez in the art area. And this is about 3 indoor cats that get stuck outdoors during a rabies outbreak. They have to survive without being bitten or scratched. It's like zombies for cats. And I thought it's awesome. They're doing the variant covers that are inspired by horror movies again. I already have it in my order. Is going to be the Dawn of the Dead cover, is what I'm shooting for there. Because I have all of my favorite horror movies as my variant covers for the Stray Dog series. And I got those afterwards, which is a lot more difficult than buying them when they come out. So I'm definitely on it this time. And very excited about this book.
Yeah, and very grisly. I mean, you see the driver ejected from the ambulance in that one scene.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the thing about Stray Dogs. It had this weird contradiction and combination of cuteness and horror. I mean, you remember it was, the premise sounds so fantastic. I mean, these cats have been indoor cats for their entire life, and then they get stuck in the outdoors.
Yeah, I had this down. I think you two are probably more excited about this than I am, just because of the fact that Stray Dogs was so hyped up, and when I actually read it, it didn't quite meet the hype. So I'm a little concerned that that's going to be the case here with Feral. But I also don't, I don't want to miss out on something either. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to decide on this particular book for me. So
yeah.
It's also it didn't really indicate that it's a limited series. It says this is the series premiere. So I'm wondering how long they plan this one out.
Well, I'd say until they run out of ideas or it stops selling.
Because Stray Dogs was always intended to be a.
It was a 5 and a 2, right? 5 issues.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The numbering on the cover is 001, indicating.
Oh, they're gonna get to 100.
Over,
Okay.
I mean, that's just a little piece of detective work there. I mean, are they writing their Walking Dead?
Yeah.
In this is what they're going for.
I mean, they could literally go to $9.99. So. They put out an issue 0, then they got 1,000. So, but I don't think it's going to make it that long. So
I'm gonna say probably not either.
Yeah. So I mean, how long did it take? Action to get to 1,000?
You guys always put out those high stakes bets.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I can't. I don't think I can bet. I can't bet against that.
No. Let's do it. But I tell you what we could do is we could do an over/under on like 6 issues.
Oh yeah. I think it has enough traction to go more total issues than what Stray Dogs did. So I'll go 10 issues.
10 issues. Okay.
There you go.
I think it depends on if there are more. Are there more cat lovers or dog lovers? That's
true too.
Yeah. I feel like there's more. I don't know. I feel like there's more dog lovers.
Yeah. See, that's why
there might be a lot of people happy to see the cats get ate by a coyote.
They'll take some perverse enjoyment out of watching these poor cats suffer.
Oh my gosh, I hope not.
But there's definitely historically it seems more cats in at least indie comics. There's more cat-based comic stories. It seems like than there are dog-based comic stories.
Okay.
So Shad, your cat is conspicuously missing from the view in your room there. So
she's not here.
I didn't know if you got scared by what
she's
we were
not outside.
About.
No, she's
my next thing's not till 244. So I only had that was the only thing I had for Image. So what else do you guys have in Image?
I'm done with the next phase.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. I've got I decided that maybe I might be interested in The Last Mermaid, which is on page 150. It's about the last mermaid in the world that roams the wastelands in a kind of a mech suit with the water kind of in it to keep it still hydrated, I guess. It seems like something I might check out and trade. I like the artwork on it. There seems to be a mystery around it, but I'm not really sure what it is. The premise seems not clear, so it was like seems trade worthy if I was to read it. Let me wait until everything's all ready to rock and roll there.
And also not listed as a limited series.
Yeah, you're right. That's all I've got in Image.
Okay. I was surprised neither of you mentioned Napalm Lullaby. I skipped it because of Rick Remender, but
I thought it was Arsenic Lullaby at first. I got to mix around the Douglas Paskovich book, and I was like, wait a second, what happened here?
Yeah, no.
The artwork was neat, but the Rick Remender's a little shaky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the last thing I read of Rick Remender I did like was 7 to Eternity. I reviewed that with Matt Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really good.
And you want to? Well, you're talking about it. So when was that?
That just came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You just put that up.
What episode is that? 13?
13, yeah.
13, Lucky 13?
Yeah, Other Realms was the comic shop from Honolulu.
Okay.
And this was the first volume of, I don't know, maybe there were 4 or 5 trades of 7 to Eternity.
Hey, if you didn't know, Bruno Mars graduated high school from Honolulu. Just throwing that out there, too.
I just can imagine you looking for those weird references, just Googling, what does Mars have in common with Honolulu?
Mm-hmm. You hit the nail on the head right there. So. Did either of you read Antarctica? I think I picked up the first issue of this. I didn't, and they listed as a 10-issue series now. I don't know what it was originally listed as, but I didn't read the first issue. I didn't know if anybody else had picked that up.
Mm-mm.
No, it's one of those series though that I'm like, man, I should have picked that up because it does look kind of good. What page you on right now, Scott?
So I'm still just scrolling. I'm on page 188 of the next phase catalog. So yeah, like I said, my next thing's not till 244. So
yeah, our Antarctica. I would like to maybe check that out at some point.
I may need to pick up the trade for that or something. So, Shad, you have anything before 244?
Nope, that was where I was taking my next stop as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you go ahead because I think you probably have more.
You get
no,
it.
I don't really have anything invested in this. So this is past my time of toys, believe it or not.
Well, so. I was only excited about one of the things in here. I don't think I ever got into the other one. So this is the from Oni Press, the Nacellaverse number 0, which is tying in everything from the Nacelle, I think that's how you say it, Nacelle Company.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes the Biker Mice from Mars, RoboForce, and I feel like they've listed the other things. Power Lords.
Sectars. It's right there at the top, yeah. Or it was at the top. Someplace in there. It's at the top of one of these pages. It says, there it is, RoboForce Biker. They have it wrong. Biker Mice from Mars. They have Biker from Mice from Mars. Sectors, Power Lords. Oh, they say and many more. So it's
many more.
And many more, yeah.
So Biker Mice from Mars were the only ones that I knew and paid attention to. I didn't really know any of the other ones, and I do want to pick up Biker Mice from Mars number 1, so I feel as though I need to pick up the Nacellaverse 0 to kind of see what they're building here. So I was excited about it for that kind of element alone. I have the Biker Mice from Mars comics they did in the 90s. And so this is kind of was like, oh, cool. This is in the same vein of like them bringing back Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck for me. So
the Great Garloo, who is the green guy.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah. I had heard of 3 of these 5. I was familiar, though I don't own anything, have anything to do with Biker Mice from Mars, Sectors, or Power Lords. I remember seeing. More so, I never realized that Biker Mice from Mars was actually a toy line. I may have saw them first as comics, but Sectars and Power Lords I remember seeing in the stores. So
okay. And I'm assuming that I'm probably not going to stick with it long. That's
hey, this is your chance once again to replace Radiant Black. This can be the universe you collect everything from. Right here.
Oh, I've got a thick stack of comics that I got to get rid of at some point in time from Radiant Black.
I'm on 292.
I got 282.
Okay, you go.
All right, I'm gonna flip ahead really quick on this. But 282 is Snaps number 1, and I am almost to the page. And it is about 2 childhood friends discovering the otherworldly beings lurking around unseen by human eyes. But they show up in photographs, and together they discover the secrets behind those beings. It seemed somewhat interesting. I liked Scout. They're always a company that I pay attention to when it comes to indie books. And if one sounds good out of a month, I always try to make sure I check it out. Snaps says that one. It feels like it feels like an idea that is close to something I kind of thought would be a cool story idea at some point in time. Just weird creatures showing up only when you do certain things, and this is with photographs.
So from Vault on page 292, we have Deathstalker number 1. I have a vague memory. I meant to go online and like look up this movie. So apparently it's based off of a movie. I have probably watched this movie, but I don't remember anything about it. But Tim Seeley's writing it. I'm probably not going to buy it, but with a name like Deathstalker and with you have the phrase cult cinema, it's probably for somebody out there. So.
And Slash is co-writing it from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Slash presents.
Oh, I see that. I didn't get past Tim Seeley, and then I see that now. I thought Slash was like a sub. I
seen that too, and that didn't dawn on me. That was the musician Slash.
He's done something comics related before. I don't remember exactly what it was. At least I think he has. So I may just be. Maybe I'm just thinking of that Progressive commercial where he tries out for the Garage Band and they say hired.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that wraps up next phase for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Same.
All right. So let's see. Marvel catalog. All right. So okay, I'll go ahead and talk about this. Is on page, what is it? Page 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have they're bringing back the Ultimate Universe. We talked previously. I wasn't for sure if Ultimate Spider-Man was going to be Miles, Peter, somebody else completely new. It's definitely Peter Parker. So it's basically, I guess, a re-envisioning of the Marvel Universe of the re-envisioning of the Marvel Universe that was the Ultimate Universe that they destroyed during the Secret War. Get all that?
Yeah.
Everything old is new again.
That's right. So I guess it's been long enough that they can cycle back through. So
I'm being a Momoko fan, I am somewhat excited about the Ultimate X-Men book that she's doing, writing and drawing, and it seems as though she's doing it completely somewhat new X-Men. It's not nobody's crossing over, at least at the beginning of it. So that is intriguing to me. I'm always looking for a Marvel book that I can just walk into without a lot of back knowledge, because I am not an avid Marvel reader, and with someone I enjoyed their artwork, this was a book I was like, maybe I will pick this up. Maybe this will be my X-Men book. I'm always looking for an X-Men book also.
Well, now these characters are not brand new characters. Armor already exists. Maystorm's a newer character, but that's not I don't think that's the first appearance of that character.
It seemed as though they maybe kicked off in the Ultimate
Universe 1 issue.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in there.
Armor has existed for years, probably decades.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So because they only named the two there, Armor, Maystorm, but yeah, it also makes me think I maybe need to go back and pick up Ultimate Universe #1.
To back it up just to page 1 specifically, we are still getting Disney What If variants.
Yeah.
And we're no longer it's no longer a Disney 100 variant.
Mm-mm.
It's just a Disney What If, and it makes me, are we just going to continue to do these? It seems like at this point.
Yes. And why do we keep putting Avengers covers on Amazing Spider-Man? That's what
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like, come on, can we not just put these on Avengers? It's like, funny, I have a few copies of that Avengers 4 cover, graded, and people will read. They'll see Avengers, see Mickey Mouse, and then see Spider-Man at the top, and it's like, and their heads explode. Yeah, their heads explode. So, my next thing's on 6.
I want to ask Shad real quick about Peach Momoko. Her writing, she's known as an artist primarily, but does she have pretty good writing chops in your experience?
I mean, I think she's only known as an artist first because of her. Because she does a lot of variant covers, but all of her books have been her. I don't know if she's ever not been the writer of her books. The Star Wars books that she's done.
I didn't realize she did some Star Wars books.
Yeah, she did a couple of Star Wars books, or maybe she's got a new one coming out. I pre-ordered it.
Okay. I know the X-Men Demon Days is the one.
And the Demon Days are all her writing and doing it. I like her writing. I think it flows well enough. It's not the best writing I've ever read, but I think it flows well with her artwork. I don't know and maybe no one else would be able to write her well. That's why she kind of stays by herself.
Yeah.
So page 6, you have Spectacular Spider-Men. So I guess this is the first full-on team-up book between Peter Parker and Miles Morales. They've had obviously team-ups in the past, but I guess now it's an official team-up book for Peter and Miles.
Yeah.
I forgot to check and see who the writer was on this. So Greg Weisman and Humberto Ramos is the artist. Then I jumped to page 10.
I'm on 9. Well, actually 8, I guess, and it's the Jackpot and Black Cat. It's a 4-issue series. This is #1. Celeste Bronfman is the writer. Emilio Lazo is the artist. Cover by Adam Hughes. I don't know if these two are known to be partners in crime or anything, but it seems like this is a trend. You'll see a lot of miniseries by Marvel with just basically a short series of that's a team-up book.
So this is Felicia Hardy and Mary Jane Watson, who are both current and or former flames of Peter Parker teaming up. So it's more about the former Peter Parker connection than it is about these two characters having a specific team up in the past.
Gotcha. So, okay. I forgot about Jackpot being Mary Jane.
Well, Jackpot didn't start as Mary Jane Watson, but in second, third, or fourth iteration of Jackpot, It was Mary Jane Watson that became Jackpot. So yeah.
Okay.
Page 10, Ghost Rider #1, a new Ghost Rider. So this is not Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch or Robbie Reyes. This is a new unknown, and it's going to focus more on the vengeance portion because the Spirit of Vengeance is not supposed to be a good guy, apparently. So maybe the title character is a bad guy in their own book.
I like it.
Then I go to 14.
Come on, 17.
Okay, so we got Ms. Marvel Mutant Menace. So this is our second series that is co-written by Iman Vellani, who is, of course, Ms. Marvel in the Marvels and on the Disney Plus series. I have not yet read the first series. I don't know why I haven't read the first series. I think because it just doesn't pop up automatically for me in the Marvel app, but I keep meaning to go and read that book, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Did either of you read that Ms. Marvel series? Just out of curiosity?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to make it a point to read it before we record again, so that way I'll try to remember to talk about it then.
Does she have the 10 rings?
No, not supposed to. Shang-Chi's supposed to have, quote, well, it's Mandarin in Marvel who has the 10 rings.
Well, because it looks like in that cover, like she's got a bracelet that has 5 rings on one side, and you can't really see the other side.
Right. I think that's supposed to be a play off of the bracelet that she gets in the TV series.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because if you don't remember, they killed her, and then of course before the issue even went to the stands, they were already soliciting this first series. That she was coming back, so they killed her so they could bring her back as a mutant.
Okay.
And I think they have made some tweaks to make the character more like the TV character. But again, having not read it, I don't know that for a fact. So.
Got it.
Page 15, Black Widow and Hawkeye. I like these two characters together. Either version of Black Widow, like rewatching Hawkeye, I so enjoyed the interaction between Clint Barton and Yelena Belova, and I still liked it the second and third time I watched it, and I thought this is probably gonna be the series for me, and then I see we have a venomized Black Widow. It's like I don't know now, but
is that what's going on? Oh
yeah,
I
see it. Yeah.
So I mean, it says it down here in the solicit. Where it is a symbiote equipped Natasha Romanoff. So I don't know what I think about that. It does have Stephanie Phillips writing.
She's good. She is a good writer.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one just a little bit. So
yeah, I like the two of them better without powers together. Like the two ground level taking on things way more than they can actually chew.
Yep. So I am right there with you. So it feels like this is going to make one much more powerful than the other one. So, it's kind of like how did Bizarro end up in the Suicide Squad, with Harley Quinn? There's a little difference in power level there.
Exactly.
And let's see.
17.
17. All right, go ahead.
Okay. It's a Web of Spider-Man #1. The only reason I mention this is it's a one-shot previewing what is to come for Spider-Man through the beginning of 2025, it says. So if you're looking for, is there going to be any potential new characters, new villains, new threats, whatever it might be, this might be the thing to show it off a little bit.
Yeah. I wondered about that.
I don't think I have anything else in Marvel until page 74. So you two, I'm just scrolling. So you two go for it, and if I see something else on my way to page 74, I'll mention it. But
okay, I got a couple.
I haven't been picking on page 22, Avengers Twilight #4 by Chip Zdarsky and Daniel Acuna. I haven't been picking this up, but I heard through reviews that it is just excellent. So it's sort of a futuristic, I don't know if you want to say Kingdom Come or Dark Knight Returns type future, but I'm wanting to get this one either on the app or in a trade or something. I'm eager to check it out.
I will do the same.
Matter of fact, I'm earmarking this catalog right now.
I've got on page 29 is Weapon X-Men #1, and this is a team up of all the Wolverines across the multiverse. And the only reason I bring it up is because it's including Zombie Wolverine, and I don't know how he would work with a team super well, but he is there.
Looks like Old Man Logan's in the bottom frame there.
Yep. They're all hanging out. They're all there, including a zombie.
Okay.
I got 31 is X-Men 97 #1, and it is, they're calling it it's the prelude to the new Disney Plus show. So if you are interested in the revamp of, or not the revamp, but the continuation of the X-Men 90s cartoon that's going to be coming on Disney Plus, this will be the prelude to set up the new show.
I really don't. I'm kind of just scrolling myself through the physical catalog.
Okay.
This is 65 as my last one.
On 59, I'm just going to mention this because this is not a character I expect to see in a Doctor Strange book. And I didn't notice it the first time through, but here on the cover of Doctor Strange issue number 13, we have Taskmaster, who is not mystical in any shape, form, or fashion, alongside Doctor Strange, looks like Moon Knight. Oh, it's Hunter's Moon. Okay, and then Black Cat, whose powers have been attributed to magic, to being a mutant, to various things. But Taskmaster is just kind of a little odd there on that particular cover to me. Yeah. So I am actually reading Doctor Strange, just digital, reading Doctor Strange digital, reading Black Panther digital. They're not like blowing me away and making me think I need to go back up and pick up the books, but they're not bad either. So.
Have you guys heard anything about Immortal Thor? How that's going?
I have such a bad taste in my mouth from the ending of Immortal Hulk.
I know, right?
That I don't even want to start it because I think I'll start it, like it, and then be disappointed. So yeah, I have not read a single issue of it. So
fair enough.
I have heard that Sensational She-Hulk has been a really good series.
Okay. On 65 is Aliens What If #1 we're getting now. And I just, why not talk about it? It's co-written by Paul Hold on a second.
Is this issue What If Aliens Showed Up in Mad About You? No? Okay. All right. I thought I'd give it a shot.
It's close. Close.
Okay. All
right. Co-written by Paul Reiser about his Aliens character, Carter Burke, alongside his son Leon Reiser and a team of other writers. There's like 12 people on the book. So I don't know who's actually Adam Goldberg's writing. It looks like they have a bunch of people there that probably all filled in one word to get a whole book together. But it's if Carter Burke didn't die, and so I don't have any stake in this book at all and will not be ordering it, but it's just odd. It's an odd one. And that's all I've got for Marvel.
Mike, did you have anything else?
I don't know.
Okay, so down on page 74, I just want to point out we do get some additional information about the Marvel Free Comic Book Day books. So we got a Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe is one. That's on page 74. Page 75, we got Blood Hunt and X-Men 1. Then we have like the kid-friendly book here, which is Spidey and His Amazing Friends, kind of the Funko Pop looking size heads on those characters. We got Marvel Voices. Looks like this is for India. Or no, it's like a combination. So it looks like so we got kind of a combo there on the Marvel Voices Free Comic Book Day book. Then there's a Star Wars Darth Vader Free Comic Book Day book. So
yep.
All right. So over to Pullbox then.
Okay. So I don't know how we'll do this. I've actually got the physical catalog, but you guys will be looking online. So
yeah, you'd always just have to make it difficult, Mike.
I know.
I got a digital version of the big book, so
okay.
I'm gonna look at the same thing you do, Atch.
Okay. I thought we all agreed. No.
I mean, yeah.
I can't stand the website. I try to do anything to avoid the website.
It's whenever the catalog costs $18. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the catalog. So just for the record,
I find the PDF scan that's online.
I got mine free. I'm just nice, People give me free stuff. Dang it! Here, look at the time.
Yeah. All right. So.
Shit.
All right. Let's start with Boom. Speaking of Boom, what do you guys have? Anybody have anything in Boom Studios?
I do.
No.
Let me guess. Man's Best.
Yes. Man's Best. Yeah. It's a book about dogs.
Dogs. Counterweight the book about cats.
That's right. Yeah. You gotta represent from both sides of it. This is Homeward Bound on an alien planet. Artwork is very light and animated, and it looks like it's got a potential to be good. It does feel a lot like the book. I don't know if you guys read the book We Three by Grant Morrison, that came out I don't know, 20 years ago or so. It feels a lot like that, which is 3 dogs that I think maybe it's or 2 dogs and a cat.
2 dogs and a cat. Yeah, I guess is what it is. I thought it was 3 dogs too, but now when I look at the cover more closely, it's like, oh, that looks like a cat front and center.
Yes, it is. And so it feels a lot like We Three, which they're also in like mech suits. So it does feel like it's biting a little bit from that idea, but it could be good. I probably won't pick up the single issue, but this might be something I'll read digitally or pick up the trade on afterwards.
I see one of the dogs has a cybernetic leg.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are emotional support pets. So
yes,
there you go.
And they do have a Trish Frostner variant who is obviously does Stray Dogs and Feral. So
yeah.
Okay. I thought that second cover looked very similar to the art for Stray Dogs, and now I understand why.
Yeah, that's Trish's. Yep.
I don't think I had anything in Boom. So
that's all I've got.
Yeah. Oh, I'm up to.
I'm just here in the peanut gallery now.
For the entire catalog.
Yep.
Aren't you glad you got that giant PDF file to pick out one thing?
You know it.
What about Dynamite? Mike, you got anything Dynamite?
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay, I do not either, because I don't want to buy 25 covers of the 2 books that they're publishing this month. So it's actually more than that. There's some Thundercat stuff. So this is, to me, it's just like it's like there's a bunch of fanboys at Dynamite. Like, oh, we can do Thundercats. Oh, we can do Vampirella. Because I shouldn't say too much, because Chad, you're buying several Dynamite, right?
Most of the Disney titles I am getting regular, but there's nothing new. It's all ongoings or not ongoings, but yeah.
Are you getting all 20? No, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 covers through Cruella.
I just get A covers usually. I'm just an A cover guy.
And that's why you're not their favorite customer.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, Mike, just go with something. Tell me something you got.
Okay, so we can go round robin or whatever you want, but Zenescope, it's not a company I buy stuff from, except I see on page 205 in the physical catalog, there are these, looks like almost anthology type books. They all have sort of the same motif, but this one I looked at is basically called Horror and Fantasy Illustrated, Cradle of Shadows. It's basically a trip to the moon, and it's a murder mystery. So I've read a lot of, not a lot, but a few Mars-related books, as luck would have it, since there's always that Mars joke, but Traveling to Mars, and there's a couple other. But this one's about something that happens on the moon's surface, and it almost seems like some sort of reading the future here, because we've got these civilian companies that are sending excursions to the moon, and who knows what would happen, and people are trying to have their ashes put on the moon and just weird stuff like that. But anyway, I'm got this earmarked just because it looks kind of interesting, by Joe Bruscia, 48 pages, $6.99.
All right, first thing I'm going to mention, because we've already talked about apes once this month, so why not talk about apes again? So you have from, who is this? Spiro Toy Enterprises, LLC. that just rolls right off the tongue for a comic publisher. But they have a book here called Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and it's the great houses of the animal kingdom are in shambles. And on the cover, they have like these little side shots, not quite mug shots of like 4 different types of apes. And I don't know. I guess if you're somebody who's buying that ape world book, then this would be another book that you should definitely pick up. Animal Warriors. I'm looking at the cover B. I didn't even look at the A cover for this one. So, all right, Mike, what else you got?
It's in, well, unfortunately, poor Dark Horse. Even though seems like they get a lot of properties, and you got Mark Miller moving over to them, but they still don't have a big spot in the catalog. Anyway, on page 214, you got Dudley Dotson #1. I bring it up because of the creators. Scott Snyder's the writer. Jamal Igle, who we are all a fan of, is the artist. And I don't know anything about this. I kind of stopped at the creators and said, yeah, I think I'll take a look at that. It's about a true sci-fi adventure story about a boy, his dog, and a machine that controls time and space.
I remember hearing about this. It was a Comixology original first.
Oh, really?
And I remember it being announced, but I never got to read it at all. So I am curious about this one as well.
Anything Scott Snyder can write that's not like the end of the universe type of story, I would probably read. I don't like the stuff he does like that.
Yeah.
Like his entire Justice League run.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of the entire run. It's almost like sacrilegious for me to get rid of a Justice League book, but I have given away most of that.
Let's see. I'll go with this one, and I don't. Okay, blaxploitation at its finest. We have Blackula: Return to the King. This is a hardcover. I guess it's when your company name is Zombie Love. That probably says a lot right there. And I'm actually mentioning this more because last week I watched They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix. Have either of you watched that?
No, it sounds familiar though.
Okay, it's a brand new film, and it is actually really, really good. If you can get past the language, then it's outstanding. It's a lot of fun, and for once I actually am starting to think that John Boyega may be able to act. So, because nothing else that I've seen him in have I thought that he was a good actor, and this show may have changed my mind. So there is some potential for him to do something besides just be bad in a movie, because he's really, really good in this. So yeah, there you go. So either read Blackula: Return to the King in trade, or just fire up Netflix and watch They Clone Tyrone. So it's really surprisingly good. I was really, really shocked. So
I've got under Aardvark Vanaheim. If you missed Aardvark #1 by Dave Sim, you can get the facsimile edition in just in time for the release of Cerebus #300. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Not just Aardvark, it's Cerebus.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Just Cerebus the Aardvark.
There you go. What do I have next here? Okay. There was a series which I have both issues. I have not read it yet. Never mind. This is just the trade for this. So they have a trade for Coins of Judas is what I was going to mention. But this is actually the trade for Coins of Judas. I thought I saw in the solicit that it said catch up on the first series arc before The Gambler raises the ante in May of 2024. So there's going to be a follow-up story to Coins of Judas, which I have not read yet. But it's only 2 issues, so I don't know why I haven't read it. And they're going to have a second volume or a second story coming in May. So
cool.
Mike?
All right. This is under Andrews McMeel on page 244. I'm only mentioning it because I did buy the first volume. It's Calvin and Hobbes Portable Compendium. And kind of along the lines of what Chad mentioned about Winnie the Pooh, there is something that Calvin and Hobbes transcends charm in a sense that it even at my age, it makes me think of what it's like to be a kid and pretend that a stuffed animal is real. And I bought the first volume, which was like a slipcase, and this is the second volume. I assume it's also a slipcase, but it's called the Calvin and Hobbes Portable Compendium, Volume 2. And I'd say if you're the Bill Watterson completist or just a really big fan, this might be the best way to collect all of those strips.
Okay.
I found something I wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
It's it's another April special that's coming out in March, which is just so weird. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures April special, focusing on April O'Neil, of course.
Okay.
I read the first couple issues of the Saturday morning special for them, for the series, and it was actually really good. If you like the cartoon turtles and everything, this is they nail it on the head. They do a really great job with it. The artwork's great. The stories, it feels like you're reading more of that show. So I wanted to give it a shot, and it was on like Comixology Unlimited or something, and I was like, oh, I'll read a couple of these, and it was surprisingly solid.
Good to know.
All right. Let's see. So the Saturday. Oh, it's not the Saturday morning Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm not going to mention this. Never mind. Skip it. Moving on. I thought I'd missed the Saturday morning adventures Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, here it is. But
you did.
The same. Yeah. I did actually miss it. So it's issue 3. But I was going to mention the other one because I thought it was a new series, but it's not a new series. They're just on issue 3 of the second series. So I'll not say any more about that.
Okay.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah. On page 277, Classics Illustrated. Did you know it was still around? I didn't. I don't know.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I saw that, but I didn't. I just thought it was a reprint of another Classics Illustrated.
Well, I'm sure it probably is. I mean, it's
a trade.
Yeah, these are trades, but I mean, what we call trades now were probably about the same size, 48 pages, probably the size of the comic back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I guarantee they didn't cost $9.95 back then, but it does make me. I'm like, I kind of always liked, making a comic story out of some classic stories like Crime and Punishment and The Deer Slayer and Red Badge of Courage, stuff like that. So it's kind of a novelty. I don't know if I'll get any of them, but it's cool to think about.
I've read so many classic novels through Classics Illustrated.
Yeah.
That was the only way that I was like, I'm not going to read these books, but I'll read a comic.
It's like you don't even need Cliff Notes. You just use the Classics Illustrated.
Exactly. Absolutely.
What I got next? Okay, so this one, I swear this was solicited before. So this is from Silverline Comics. It's Kayless, Kayless, number 1. So in 1967, the CIA sends astronauts into space to investigate an anomaly, and they disappear before they can report back their findings. And then fast forward to today, they show back up. I swear I have given that same synopsis for a book over a year ago. And I just wonder if this is like they canceled it and this is it again, or if somebody else is releasing the exact same story. So I don't know, but that I vaguely remember this premise interests me before, and I'm still kind of interested in this premise. I don't remember ordering that book, so maybe I will pick it up this time, or maybe it will actually get printed this time. I'm not for sure what the actual case is there.
It's going to keep popping up in the catalogs until you get a copy.
Until I get a copy.
It's kind of a basic story plot. Like maybe you just seen it before in a different book. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It felt kind of original the first time I thought I read it. I don't know. Mike, you got anything else?
Critical Entertainment on page 282. It's a featured item. It's called The First Americans. I don't know the creators, Christopher Rita or Tad Galusha. At the end of the Ice Age 14,000 years ago and on the verge of starvation, a tribe of Paleo-Indians travel across the Bering Land Bridge from Siberia into North America. I've always been interested in the historical population of, or the migration of, humans from Asia into the Americas, just, as like prehistory type stuff. I like that. And seeing it in a comic, I think would be kind of cool. So I'm going to pick that up for sure.
Okay, I think I'm getting towards the. Oh, I got a couple more at least. Let's go with this one first. This is from Ablaze Publishing. This is Torpedo 1972. So the premise of this book is you have this 1930s, I'll just say Trigger Man. Fast forward 40 years, it's down 1972. The world's changed, but he hasn't. So I guess if you're into like the noir type story and want a little bit of a different take on noir, then Torpedo 1972 from Ablaze.
I seen that as well, and it reminded me of that. I always fail to remember this. It's a female detective set in the 70s. Abbott, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I know if I don't mention this, you're going to chastise me. In Fantagraphics on page 308, we have the Thimble Theater and the pre-Popeye comics of E.C. Seeger, revised and expanded. And Thimble Theater, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but it was based on what was called the Chester Opera House back in the early 20th century, late 19th and early 20th century. It was basically the show house in Chester, and that's where Elsie Seeger got his idea for Thimble Theater. $100. You'd have to be a big Popeye fan to probably get it.
Okay, one more, and I'll keep thumbing through unless everybody else is done. From Mad Cave Studios, we have Morningstar #1. Primarily mentioning this just because it's a #1, but it's like 1956, set in a national forest in Montana. A smoke jumper dies in a wildfire. His family is hoping to do something. What are they hoping to do? Anyway, following their death, the wife and mother of two takes the crumbling family to the Morningstar Lookout, seeking solace through closure to scatter her husband's remains, but something far beyond the reach of their wildest imagination awaits the Garrett family in the Montana wilderness. So no telephone, no electricity, no transportation, no escape. Mad Cave, Morningstar, 5-issue series. Yeah, 5-issue series.
I think Mad Cave's got a pretty good reputation now. They've kind of made a name for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too bad.
And under another company that I don't ever buy from, Humanoids, there's a book called I Am Legion by Fabian Neri and artist John Cassaday. It's a hardcover, mature title, alternate history, thriller, espionage, sort of like that Marguerite versus the Occupation I mentioned earlier in Next Phase. This is set in 1940s Europe, and it tells the story as the mysterious enemy force known as the Legion, a power which can seemingly move from one body to another. And but on the flip side, this is actually the Legion is basically on the Axis side, and it's the allies that have to defeat it, her, him, whatever. It's I think one of the characters that is personified in is a Romanian girl. So that kind of intrigues me as well.
I'm Mike. You got a Tomorrow's pick?
Yeah, I do. At risk of wearing my welcome out here, I do want to bring up back issue 151, which Shad will appreciate. Maybe we'll even get because it spotlights the Sandman Dreams and Nightmares issue, and all kinds of articles and interviews. I don't think it's something you can really miss. I guarantee this would be very interesting. I usually pick up the back issues. I don't always pick up Alter Ego, but I probably will pick up Alter Ego as well. It's on the next page. It's basically a collector's item of classics. It includes, material of some of the original 1960s Marvel books, Kirby, Ditko, things like that. So a lot of these 3-in-1 things. They're pretty pricey, but it does combine 3 books into one. That pretty much wraps it up for me, Scott.
Yeah, I think I'm still kind of flipping through Pull Box just to see if anything else jumps out at me. But since you're both done, I think I'm just going to call it as well. So, Shad, anything you're particularly looking forward to coming out of this catalog? I think I probably know your answer, but
is it Feral #1?
No, it wasn't. I was wrong.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that in the Celluverse, but okay.
Oh yeah.
No, I think now as you say that, Feral #1 is probably
Feral #1 definitely.
That feels more like you. So yeah. Mike, what about you? You got something you're looking forward to?
I had circled right here, Feral #1. I already had it picked, and we'll just have to stick with it.
Well, you know, right. I mean, that's that's not.
We'll start a book club. We'll read it together.
You should do a podcast.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, I put myself on the spot. Put you guys on the spot, and then while I was putting you on the spot, I forgot to say what I was going to be looking forward to. And well, I guess even though I talked bad about it as we were going through it, I'm kind of trying to talk myself back into it. So I just like Black Widow and Hawkeye together, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this, even though it's a symbiote Black Widow. I'm going to read that book, and I'm going to like it. Dang it, I'm going to like it. Even if I don't like it.
Whether you like it or not, you're going to like it.
Exactly right. So, all right. Anybody got an investment pick? I'm not going to make you choose one this time unless you just want to.
We've got a new Ghost Rider with Ghost Rider #1, so it might be a good spot to hang out.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that.
Usually by the time you have the fourth iteration of a character, the whole new version of the character's kind of played itself out.
Nobody cares as much.
But but I don't know. Robbie Reyes, I think, is worth more than the third is worth more than the Danny Ketch one. So I could be and probably am wrong. So I usually am when it comes to picking books that are worth money. So, Mike, you want to throw something out there for an investment pick?
I'm going to take a different approach on what's valuable. In that, if I were to get a cut of the sales, because if apes sell comics, then one must invest in April.
Okay. Right. They maybe used to sell comics, I think, but I don't think that they still sell comics.
Back in the Julie Schwartz days of editing DC Comics, maybe.
And I'm looking at these, and none of these look like, investment picks to me. I just, if I buy any of these, it's not because I think it's going to be worth some bucks, in the future. So I'll just throw out a random one here. Let's go with, Trigger 1972 from Ablaze. That looks like a Netflix series. That's what I'm gonna go with. We're gonna go with Trigger 1972. The out of place hitman 40 years after his time. I could see Netflix or Tubi doing something with that. So
there you go.
Oh, all right. So next, we didn't even talk about it before, did we?
Yeah. Oh, no. Next is another episode.
It's another episode. All right. So I think we're going to continue with what we've been reading in the next episode. All right, and then I don't know anything else. We'll come up with something else. Trivia. There'll be trivia in the next one. There'll be a CLZ shake and
some surprise thing.
And some surprise thing, unless we want to throw something out real quick.
I have an idea, but I'll save it for off.
Save it for later.
Oh, okay. You're not gonna do it live?
You're not gonna do it live?
Oh no, because if it's bad, Scott will publicly shame me. We all know that'll happen.
You not saying it's not going to stop me from doing it.
That's true too.
So
it seems to be a little bit better though if I don't say it.
All right. Well, I was thinking, okay, so our last first five was Marvel because we did Fantastic Four. Before that, we did Turtles. So we're back to a DC first five. So why don't we do first five? I'm going to make Mike smile right here.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, and I was waffling back and forth between Elongated Man and Plastic Man. But what were you thinking?
To be honest, it's the 60th anniversary of the JSA JLA team-ups.
Okay. But how would we do a first five?
We'd have to do the first 5 years, basically.
Or the first five team-up
crossovers.
issues? The first 5 team-up issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so there you go. First 5 JSA JLA crossovers. All right, which will be episode 176, right? Because this is 175. Like how professional we are.
That was pretty good. It was pretty tight. It could have been way
Could have been
more.
way worse. Okay, all right. So, Shad, if somebody wanted to reach out to you besides our podcast at bergcomics.com, where could they do that at?
They can usually find me on Facebook at Shad Schubert. That's ShaadSchubert.
Mike?
Email is m.atchison90@gmail.com, or on X, formerly known as Twitter, Mike Atchison5.
And I'm Scott Reed. You can find me at bergcomics.com, BURG comics.com, with links to social media, eBay store. And we'll be back soon with another First 5. Oh, there's a Jaws cover from Cinema Retro. It's got the I can't remember his name, the boat captain.
Oh,
Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh yeah,
Quint,
thank you.
That's one of the most quotable moments in movies.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those shows that if I see it on TV, I stop. I don't move for 2 hours. It's like, what have I done for the last 2 hours?
I haven't gone to see Aquaman yet, and I don't think I'm going to.
Okay, I don't think you're missing anything. So
I'm gonna wait. I finally watched Blue Beetle the other day.
Did you? Would you? Think
okay, it's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
As long as it's not sophomore humor like what you see. I mean, everything I heard about this one was just as bad as the first one regarding that. So. I mean, I heard there was scenes with eating cockroaches, and they made big jokes about that. I can't. I remember that being the first cringe moment in the first Aquaman was when his mother, Atlanta, who's supposed to be like
eats the goldfish.
Queen, eats a goldfish. I'm like,
it's like
that's freaking stupid.
That is dumb. So yeah.
Ah.
Nope.